Hey everyone, so you'll be thinking that I'm watching the news, wouldn't you? But we're at the movies, everyone. We're at the movies. Look at this chap's eye. That eye there. And that eye there. Is that eye the same as that eye? Is that pupil the same as that pupil? See? So we're switching. You might think that this is the news. Ready? Because we're at the cinema, remember, everyone, it's a show. See, it's a show, isn't it? But look, this is brilliant, this is. See, what we've got here is the Tropic of Capricorn, the Tropic of Cancer. We've got the four cardinal points, north, east, south and west. We've got the flat earth here, or a earth. And you see, look, the music and everything. And because the background is a globe, it's a global war, everyone. I mean, look at the music and the, all of this for a news story. It's all a show, everyone. And yeah, it's pretty disturbing in my book.
And now to the fight against ISIS.
ISIS. Look at this. This is all manufactured, everybody. This is the uneducated people, us. Just keep on, it's history repeating itself, everyone. It's no different. So we've got this chap here, and he's got a bit of a few things going on, but
it's part of the North.
Very interesting what comes up onto the screen. Now you might think that this is all, just coincidental. For instance, like the time being 44. 11 fours, and he's in Erbil, Iraq.
Normal consultations.
So, and then this comes up.
One of the main.
Here. K24 earlier. Well, in the English Premiership, we've got a team now sponsoring. I think it's Stoke, and they're called K. I think they're K. They're K8, and again it's exactly the same thing, because K is number 11, everyone, and 2 fours are 8, so you've got 11 eights there, and that number there is 88, everybody. It is DNA, it is creation, but to the Freemasons, to have creation, you've got to destroy the old, and this is what we're seeing, everyone. You see, people forget so easily the Georgia Guidestones. They tell you the truth on there, erected by the Freemasons. And you've got to remember that that monument at night time is a black cube. It's a black cube at night, everyone. It's 8 points, and it represents creation, which means cremation. Creation, cremation, from womb to tomb, and this is what it's all about, history repeating itself. So we're coming into a phase that these mad idiot monsters, scientists, Satanists, and the Satanist part, the Luciferian part, is all about people that want to live in the lower mind, everyone. The ones that want war, sex, drugs, money, power, control, me. Want. That is the lower mind. That is where Satan dwells, and that is where thought of the devil dwells, everybody, where, greed and all of that lingers and dwells. So that's the whole thing with this whole Satanist thing taking over the world today. It's all about people taking for what they can get, when they can get it, as much as they can get. All of this. So got to understand what's going on here. These numbers here on this, because don't forget, a lot of this news coverage is actually already been done by the military. And what they do is that they've got a department, a media department in the US military, where they do all the videos and then they pass them to the news channels. So you've got to understand what's going on here with this numbers, because you've got the same thing here. Erbil, Iraq, and they're opposite one another. So, you know, as above, so below. That's why this black thing is above the white, and that's why this black thing is below it. You might think, well, no, that's got nothing to do with it. It's got everything to do with it, everyone. You tell me why this is a black and white sign and you've got the white above the black, and then tell me why this is a black and white sign and the black is above the white. Do you think that's just error? Absolutely not. It's duality, and it's all about the numbers, because this video has been created by the government to give to the news channel, to give to us, and that's how it works. So let's have a look at the numbers on the duality across from one another. Erbil, Iraq, 11 fours is 44, which is 4 and 4 is 8, and K24 earlier, whatever the K24 is, but in numerology, K is 11, and you've got to understand this symbol K. Don't think of it like a letter. Think of it now just like a drawing. You see the 3 pyramids. This here, first one, where the K is, the boomerang bit. That's one pyramid. The male pyramid going up is here, and the female pyramid going down is above. And you've got there male and female in the actual symbol itself, but we all know it as K for key, everybody. And the 2 fours is 8, so we've got K11, which is 88. Now add it to the 8, and what do we have? 8, 8, 8. Here on the news, in front of us, telling us the truth. It's all about creation, which means before life, you have to have death, and that is cremation. And that is what we're seeing today in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in the Middle East, in Syria, the world over, because it is monsters that are carrying out this bloodshed. And don't forget, everybody, the cost to build this plane alone. The cost. Without wars, that wouldn't have needed to have been built. So just think about the company, the corporations, the people behind it all making billions and billions of the taxpayers' money. They wouldn't get that money if there was no wars. Without the money, they don't get the power. Without the power, they don't get the control. Without the control, they don't get their position. Without their position, they're nothing. So this is what it's all about, everybody. Brotherhoods in the lodges, creating wars to keep their lofty position above us all and to keep us enslaved. You've got to understand that wars don't just fall off a tree. They are engineered, designed and rolled out. They are perpetrated. It is, if you was in a court of law, it would be, what was it? Predetermined murder. And that's what it is, by all the people in charge. So you've got to understand what's going on this image. You've got the red, white and blue. You've got the duality of the white and black. You've got the opposites. You've got as above, so below. You've got the number 8 and you've got the number 88. And together it is 888, which is Jesus in Greek, because he was the life, the way, the door and everything else. It means creation. But first, you got to have death. You got to have cremation. And that is what these wars are all about. It's about that old priesthood ideology about life and death being one, and them wanting to be gods themselves. But it's all about the military complex. It's all about the pharmaceutical complex, and it's all about the food complex, not to mention the religion and everything. These are systems, everybody, that enslave us. If there was no wars, there would be no need for these military hardware. No need for this military hardware, then your taxes would be spent on making your cities beautiful. making the schools beautiful. You think of the trillions that go to the war machine. And really, where's that money actually going? Who's it paying? Whose pocket bank account is it sitting in? And then it's the same families that create the same wars in a different time for a different generation for the same reason, to keep control, because we are talking about money. We're talking about taking money off the people to pay for these weapons, and then these weapons destroy countries, which again destroy the people. It's all interesting stuff, but don't think for 1 second this here and that there is a mistake. These two horns here, it's no mistake at all. It is 888, and I keep on telling everybody about these eights, and you're not listening. You think it's boring, but it's so important, everybody. You know, the Freemasons, they have a hidden hand. They are telling you the truth. It's like a coin, the face you see and the face that you do not see. It is the face that's down that you do not see. So on the surface, the Freemasons give us the number 33. That is the seen face of the coin. The hidden face of the coin is the number 8. Because it represents life and death, creation to cremation, womb to tomb. That's what it means, this figure, 8, DNA, mother and child. They love it. 888, everybody. 8 is the number. It is the secret of the Freemasons. It's not 33. It is 8. And once you understand that the Freemasons control all of this, it's their fingers on the trigger, and then it's their monuments that tell us that the human population has to come down by 7.5 billion to 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Who made them judge, jury and executioner? Who said that that's correct? This world can hold so much more life than that. But you see, we're living in a time now with these 8s because the human global population is at 8 billion. So 8 is life and death. So we're living in them times now where there's 8 billion people and we have to be reduced by 7.5. The Freemasons tell us that. It's the Freemasons that own the military complex. It's the Freemasons that own government. And it is the Freemasons' finger that is on the trigger. Why won't you people listen to what I'm saying? It's the number 8. When you see the 8, it is a language. They do not come out and say, I'm an evil Mason. This is what I've done. Blah, blah, blah. No, they don't talk in that language. They talk in signs, symbols and numbers. And they tell us who they are, what they've been doing, where they are and their intentions. But not by the word, not by the letter, by the interpretation, everybody. Because it's the sign, the symbol and the numbers. And what we've got here is the numbers and the signs, the black and white. They're the signs, the duality. We've got the numbers. You see, that could have just been one sign. Herbal Iraq, K24, earlier. But you see, it's a division. Earlier, later, birth, death. Earlier, before, later, after. You know, K24. 88, everyone. An 8. It is 888. It is all about control and propaganda. And what this is doing, everybody, is exactly that. They're going on about ISIS again. Every news channel's the same. They're all doing it. And it's a movie because, look, we've even got the movie clipperboard here. Lights, film, action. Yes, welcome to Mosul, Erbil, Iraq. And the firefighting has not stopped all throughout the night. You know, all of this, you know. And what they do is, I mean, it's very real, of course, because, you know, innocent people with no education don't have a clue what's going on. All they know is some big bad army with loads of machines coming into their country and killing, dropping bombs.
Main topics of discussion was, of course, the question of Turkish involvement.
You see all of this, you see Turkish involvement now drawing in like a black hole, like an evil cancer in the body. It's drawing in things around it, everybody. Got to be very careful what we're entering into because it's a new age and these people in control of everything. Their fingers on the buttons. Very dangerous times we're living in. We cannot, you know, who polices the police? Who governs the govern? You know, all of this sort of stuff. And this crazy crap. Look at this soldier with the sword and everything. Obeying. Obeying who? Yes, these sell-out puppets here that go around the world continuing the warfare. You know, we'll withdraw this unless you attack here and all of this sort of stuff. Anyhow, that's enough. It's just to let you know that the numbers tell you, everybody, it's a show. How the news channel presents the show is a little bit disturbing. They make it look like a movie, from the clipboard to the special effects. You know, what's going on? It's about programming the sheeple, you and I, the unilluminated, the uneducated, for us to be taken in to this global show. And it's all about control, power. And we're living in that time where we've changed from Pisces into Aquarius. We're at the number of 8 billion, and it's time for everything to change, like they said on the Georgia Guidestones. Them Georgia Guidestones, you know, people say, well, we don't know who erected it, we don't know this, and we don't know that. Who on earth put the planning permission in? Who on earth erected it? Who on earth put their name to the certificate of the planning? And why isn't the people asking the question, what does it mean by the human population, 500 million? What have they got planned? Because you cannot have the Freemasons in charge of everything and then telling us that the human population has to be destroyed by 7.5 billion. It should be alarm bells going off everywhere. You know, it should be everything. You know, DEFCON, was it 5-1, whatever it is. It all should be ringing loudly in everybody's ears. And what we're doing is, like animals, we're just grazing on the grass, waiting for the fire to burn us all. So, you know, my question is, why aren't people asking from the late 90s what these Freemasons mean by that monument? Who put it there? Because there is a trail, but nobody's looking under the stones, because they get stopped at every single level. By whom? By people in office who are, yes, the Freemasons. You've got it. So that's why it goes no further. But for me, it's pretty troubling. It's pretty alarming that they put that monument up there, telling their intent of getting rid of 7.5 billion people. I mean, talk about, we're going to murder you and we're telling you what you're going to do about it. Well, nothing. We're going to carry on grazing on the grass. You know, we're cattle maids, aren't we? That's all we are, cattle. Okay, everyone. Hope you're well. And, you know, don't mean to finish the weekend on this somber note, but you've got to understand what's at play, what's going on. It's all about the numbers, everybody. And it's about this number 8. I can't tell you how powerful it is. It is everywhere. It's in all the adverts. It's in the programs. It's in the films. It is everywhere, because number 8 is the number. Number 8 is Freemasonry. Number 8 is creation to cremation, from womb to tomb. It is the hidden side of the coin that they don't want you to see, and it's the number 8. The other side of the coin that we all get to see is number 33. But when you split the atom, you create. When you split the 8 vertically down the middle, you get 33. DNA opposite one another, looking at one another, spiraling, reflection. Now, as above, so below, lift up the 3s, place them next to one another, side by side, and you've got 33. That is the side that we all see. That is the side of the Freemasons that is the public side. Now, the hidden side, the side at the top that they don't want you to see, the engineering, the Bilderberg groups, you know, all of this sort of stuff. What's that place called up in San Francisco? The Redwoods. Oh, you know, anyhow, I forget now what that's called. And but you see, these are all Masonic people that go there. You know, Queen Beatrix, you know, Imperial Shell Oil, Dutch Shell Oil, British Petroleum. These are all owned by High Freemasons, High Knights of Malta, you know, all of this sort of stuff. The Templars. You think, you see, us people that just work with our heads in the sand, we all think that's history, that it's gone, that it's ended, that it's not with us today. Why? Why do you think that? Why do you think them Templars, the Knights of Malta, these little groups of old men and women, you know, that are raising their children in the same mould Fox Mulder. So, you know, it's all interesting stuff. And you see Fox Mulder, Fox is 666, the number of a man. And to mold her is to, again, it's the union between a man and a woman coming together, creation, you know. And you see, you got Fox mold her, which is the body, and then you got Scully, which is the head, body and mind. It's all connected, everyone. It's all connected. But my point being is this: the Freemasons, they run the show for the banks. Now, the banks run the show for the church, because you've got to understand that the banks were created by the church. It all goes back to the high priests. The high priests were given offerings, money, food, bread, you know, clothes, gifts, this sort of thing. It was the Pope's armies that created the Crusades. And don't forget, when these knights in France, Spain, England, Germany, all these Christian knights that went to kill and murder in the name of this Pope, when they died, if they had no son or legitimate heir, this is where the trustee comes in, one of these Sester Quavis from the Vatican. Who do you think all the property from the barons and the knights and the lords and the earls, who do you think they entrusted all that wealth and land to if they had no heir, if they died in the Crusades? All that stuff got left to the church, everyone. All property, land and life, all of it, a long time ago, got written, sealed and put away, that all that we know belongs to the church, to the Vatican. That's why church and state are one, everyone. That's why you've got the church on every warship, because church and state are one. That's why you've just had this show with Donald Trump standing up in front of the world saying Hillary Clinton will rip a child from its mother's womb at 9 months old. What sort of language is that for the president of the free world? You know, why say that? But of course, it's not Donald's words. Somebody's writing that for him. He's a puppet. He's a Mason, everyone. His body language, his words, everything tell you who they are. How do you know he's a Mason, Ocean? Well, like I've just said, it's the signs and symbols and numbers. I also said they're not going to come out on stage and say, Cooey, hello everyone, I'm a Mason, I'm evil, and this is what I'm up to. I'm playing the game. They don't come out verbatim and say it word for word, everyone. Don't be naive. But believe me, Donald Trump, with his body language, his hand gestures, his words, his numerology, he is part of the club as much as anybody is. You don't get run for president of the free world. We're not playing ball. And you see, it's two sides of the coin. You've got the old side, Hillary. You got the new side, Donald. You know, listen, everybody. I know I'll keep on talking on a little bit, but you've got to understand, nothing changes. The puppets do, but policy remains the same. Barack Obama, when he came to office, what was his tagline? Change. Yes, we can. Change. Yes, we can. Change from a coffee, please. What Barack Obama was saying, not a change from George Bush's policies, not a change in American global overseas policy. No. What Barack Obama was actually referring to was a change from the old world into a new world order. Like his predecessor, George Bush, said, we got the chance for a new world order, and his father before him and Clinton before him, because that is what it's all about. Obama has talked about a new world order, but when he first came to office and he stood there in Germany with thousands and thousands giving him praise because the people wanted change. But you see, Barack Obama, this is the hidden. The change will come, everyone, but it means the destruction of you. Because the change you're talking about is not the change I'm talking about. The change of policy, wars won't change, because it's all about the corporate industrialists. So therefore, what change are we talking about? We're changing about a new world order. We've got all the power we want. We've got everything we want. Let's get rid of the vermin, i.e. you and me, the rats, and let's keep 500 million to wait on us, to serve us. And then we've got the whole planet, the whole world as a theme park for just us, the 1% of the 1%ers. Even these puppets in place, they don't get to stay anybody. But it's all about the numbers, the duality. Don't forget, this could have been one sign here. It could have been one white sign, Herbal Iraq, 11:05. But no, there's a reason why they've done before AM and they do after, earlier and after, K24. It's 888. It's about life and death, everyone. And that's exactly what wars are all about. So, yeah, it's all a game. It's all a show. Don't believe anything of it. It's a very deadly one as well, of course, you know, because what this does, it views people's opinions and all of this. And I got a friend in Kirkuk, by the way, a Kurdish man in Kirkuk, in Iraq, and I've known him for years, and I talked to him for years. And do you know, and again, you know, this whole Chemical Alley thing, you know, where the Kurds died in Chemical Alley and everything. Well, his family was part of all of that. And he said to me, he goes, the best thing for Iraq was Saddam Hussein. He goes, he held everybody together, all the fractions, all this religious divide. He goes, Saddam held everything together. Was he perfect? No, he wasn't, of course. But take him out, will things be worse or better? And they told me many years ago, things would only be worse by removing. The countries haven't had sustained peace for years for no reason at all, you know, and the same with Libya. And what we're seeing with Syria today. The UN dictates that nobody goes into another country war to change regime. Words and actions, everybody, it's an absolute lie. It's a fallacy. Because don't trust the word of a man or a woman, because their word means nothing to us in today's age. It is the action. Let's see the action come first, and then the word can follow. And the word then can sit on top of the action, not the action sitting on top of the word, because words and actions are lies, everybody. So, yeah, as you can see here, nice little, you know, as if we're at the movies. Popcorn, get your ices, all of this. And they're sick, they're evil, and they should be stopped. Everyone, we have loads of power. And yet, you know, it's like somebody grabbing us by the neck and shoving our heads into the earth, into the ground. That's exactly what it's like on a physical level. They grab our neck, shove our faces into the soil. You know, we can fight back in so many different ways. And yet, you know, we think that we have to abide by this. And again, only us forget history. There's been many, many revolutions taking place throughout time and history, normally perpetrated by these people. But there's no reason why the people themselves can't change the rules and the game, because it's within their power. You see, they only pay so many people. If you get all the people together, hundreds of thousands, you know, no police force can stop you. No army can stop you, you know, because don't forget, the enemy is within. The enemy is within. There's nobody coming to America or England attacking us. There's no armies coming in. Everything that is here, as in they hate the West, is all been perpetrated, programmed and mind washing, because you get secondary buy products of the lie. So you get people believing it, and that is the byproduct, because initially it's a lie. Then you get people that will really buy into what they're saying. That's the byproduct of the lie, and of course that is real. But these people themselves have very little power, very little. You think about where all the explosives, the weapons come from. Where do they all come from? Who makes them? How does the companies in America, England, Italy make weapons, and they end up in the hands of the terrorists? What's going on? What's the process between manufacturing and delivery? Who's involved? You see, all these questions the public never ask and never get told. So anyhow, 30 minutes, half an hour, waffled on enough. And thank you very much for keeping me company. I hope you're well. It's a drizzly day here in Coventry, England. And so I'm just about to fill the hot water bottle and put my feet on them. Can't beat it. Okay, everyone. Thank you and goodbye.